Hey guys, how is it going? Brofist. Welcome to the part 1 or day 1 of the 20 days of gold making challenge. Today we're gonna discuss about the origin of my gold making, how I started, what keeps me up with the gold making, what motivates me, and what made me start basically with the gold farming. So if you don't know what this challenge or this series, it's not really a challenge, series is all about, check out the introduction. I'm actually talking about what we're gonna discuss here, and you can find all the videos and playlists and links about the whole part, every part that it will be coming, and it's past. I think this is the first, so it's nothing is past, but for the future videos you just you know, go to the introduction, bookmark that video, because that is the main you know, playlist pretty much for this stuff. So anyway, let's move on. How I started farming. So my origin actually started at the end of the vanilla, or starting of the Burning Crusade. You know, back in the days, guys, it was really hard to have gold. I mean, in order to keep yourself, keep up with your needs, with the character needs. If you have one char, I had two, you know. So in order to keep with one char the needs supplied, you know, like mounts, gear, repairs, you know, all the funny gadgets and everything that you needed for one char, it was really hard to farm. I've had two. In order to get beyond that and be like rich, in back in the days, it was extremely hard. I mean, maybe I didn't use the right system, maybe I was doing something wrong, but back in the days it was hard for me. So I was really frustrated because of that, and I couldn't really afford things that I wanted to afford in the game. You know, certain items I wanted to twink, I wanted to do different things, you know, and I couldn't do it because I had no gold. And what started all this stuff, it started out of frustration, and I started researching stuff. Back in the days, we didn't had that active online community. You know, there was no Reddit or whatever. There was no Wowhead. Wowhead I think came out like the Burning Crusade, the middle of Burning Crusade, maybe even later. At the start, we only had like T-Hot, T-Bot. It was one website that was full of viruses. There was lots of crappy information over there, but it used, you know, it served the purpose. I've learned a lot of that website, and I'm really grateful because of that. And you know, at the start of the Burning Crusade, when I actually started really seriously farming gold, there was nothing to do. You know, I mean, you could do everything, but out of everything that you could do, you couldn't do much, because you either needed gear, you needed flying mount, or you needed mount, or you needed this, or you needed that. So what I've started doing, it's I've discovered about elemental plateau. I actually checked out what I need for my tailoring to craft. I think it was shadow weave robe and or something, or spell weave robe or whatever. I don't really remember the items I needed for my shadow priest in order to farm that. So in order to craft the gear that I needed to farm that place, I needed to farm that place to get the materials to craft the gear, you know, so it was kind of messed up. So I needed to do something, so I went back to the vanilla zones and I farmed thorium ore. I farmed days and days until I get enough to craft all that gear. So I crafted that gear on my Shadow Priest, and I started farming elemental plateau. It was primal air, primal fire, and primal water things, you know. They were selling really good, they were expensive as hell, but they were really hard to farm, you know, and it was hard to farm because you needed a class that can solo 2-3 mobs in order to be efficient, and that has self-healing, good movement, and you know, it was challenging because even if I had everything of that in my priest, I still had troubles. I was dying. So you know, it was really interesting to stay motivated and keep up. But I've learned the biggest lesson of my life into gold farming back in those times. So I've had this idea. I don't know. I've said in another video about goals in when we farm gold. You know, goals. So probably I will need to discuss this in the next part because I think it will be about goals. But let me just tell you something. You know, that those days I've realized that if you don't have a goal, you will never ever farm. If you don't have goal in life, you will never achieve anything. If you don't have goal in game, you will never achieve anything. You'll just be frustrated. You'll just running like a zombie, random. You will not know what you're doing, or everything that you're gonna do, it will look not fun or whatever. So you need to have goal. And that day I've decided that I will have a goal. 20 primals of each every day before I start doing anything else. It was so fun to play it in Burning Crusade, guys. It was insane, you know. And I was um, I don't know how can I say, I was forbidding myself to play the game, to play everything that I wanted to play, whether it's raiding, dungeoning, PvP, whatever else, until I get those 20 primals of each type, 20 fire, 20 air, 20 water. And that was my breakthrough, you know. Until you adopt the system, until I adopted the system, I couldn't become what I've you know, made with the gold and stuff until today. So that was the origin of my gold farming, how I started farming gold. And after that, you know, I was just discovering. I found a way how to research stuff. I found a way what's the best way to research things, you know. I was using T-Hot, T-Bot, later Wowhead came, later, you know, people were suggesting things on trade chat. We had really active community back in the days as well. So, you know, I've had friends, and I was figuring out ways, you know. I can show you some screenshots here from the days, from back in the days when I was farming. When Wrath of the Lich King came, I went all in on herbing, you know. Like, Frost Lotuses were selling, like, I don't know, flasks. Oh my god, man, I was selling like thousands of flasks a day. I was having the discount prices, you know, buy 20, you get 2 bonus. And people were crazy about those deals, you know, hey man, can I get 40? Sure man, there you go. And I was just crafting, you know, crafting elixir master and just craft flasks. That was my origin. And then, you know, I went through the Wrath of the Lich King just herbing whole day, you know. I was herbing for 12 hours. I was waking up at like 8 o'clock at the morning, and I was herbing until like 7 p.m. and then I started crafting until 8. You know, usually people were starting the raids at like 7, 8 the midday after they end up with work. And I needed to be the guy that will be spamming the auction house, and it will be undercutting everyone on auction house with the flasks and everything. So those were the days where I've realized how you can actually become something in your life with having goals and without giving up, you know. So those were the times when I've learned how to make my nerve, you know, made out of steel, and how can I not lose hope, and how can I stay dedicated, and how can I go all in on stuffs. And you know, the origins of my gold farming teach me a lot about you know, the game, and also about a lot about life. And I'm really grateful because of that frustration I got back in the days that made me not being able to buy my mounts and not being able to farm to buy my profession materials that I needed, or to craft some items that I needed and stuff. So yeah, share your stories, guys. When did you start the farming gold? How you keep yourself motivated and stuff in the comments below. I think it was enough talking for me today. It was like a longer video. I thought I'm gonna make it shorter, but fuck it, you know, I want to share some stories here with you guys. So share your stories in the description below, in the comments below. Make sure to like the video if you like what I'm doing here, if you like my story. And of course, subscribe if you want to check out the day 2, day 3, day 4. They will be coming tomorrow and the day after, until Legion comes. I will be trying. I'll actually do 20 parts until Legion comes. So thank you guys again for watching. You've been amazing. Barofist. Until the next time, stay cool. Listen to your parents. Be good boys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and Umrenov.